Back in 18, when I was stationed at that dusty outpost in the Afghan hills Fort Echo, we called it, tucked away in a valley where the sun beat down like it had a personal grudge. I remember this one medic, Sarah Reed. She was maybe 5 feet 1 inch on a good day, looked more like someone's kid sister than a soldier, with her hair tied back plain and no fuss, just those steady blue eyes that caught everything without saying a word. The guys, oh man, they rode her hard from day one, calling her nurse like it was a dirty word, smirking about how she'd fold under any real pressure. Hell, it started small, but it built up because, deep down, some of these Marines were insecure, fresh off deployments where they'd lost buddies. And here was this tiny woman in their space, reminding them that not everyone fit the tough guy mold, stirring up that old boys club resentment, like she was invading their turf just by showing up. Competent. One afternoon, Ramirez, this cocky sergeant with a jaw like a shovel and a laugh that grated, leans in during chow, coffee sloshing in his mug, and goes, "Hey, Reed, you ever haul anything heavier than a Band-Aid? Bet you'd crumble carrying a full pack up those 250 steps to the bunker." And the table erupts, guys like Jenkins nodding along, their egos puffed because, in a place where death's always lurking, belittling her made them feel bigger, safer somehow, masking their own fears of looking weak. Sarah never bit back, not one sesh, just stir her coffee a little slower, her fingers pausing on the spoon like she was filing away every jab. But inside, I could tell it stung, especially since she'd lost her older brother in Iraq years back, a medic like her who got hit saving his squad, and that fire in her. It wasn't about proving them wrong at first, it was about honoring that legacy. Pushing through the doubt that whispered maybe they were right, maybe she didn't belong. The taunts kept coming, layered on thick later that week. Big Tom, this hulking corporal built like a fridge, all bravado from growing up in a rough neighborhood where respect came from size, spots her crossing the yard and yells, "Yo, Sarah, think you could drag a real Marine up those stairs? If you do, I'll bow down right here, call you queen," his voice dripping sarcasm, the group around him slapping backs, laughing that bitter laugh that echoed off the concrete. But it was rooted in their own crap, Tom especially. He'd been passed over for promotion twice, blamed it on soft types like her diluting the ranks, turning it personal like she was the symbol of everything changing in the Corps. She stops, turns just enough to lock eyes with him, and says quiet but sharp, "Watch what you promise." Tom, words like that have a way of biting back, and the laughter dies a bit, but they wave it off, 'cause admitting she rattled them would have cracked their armor. Then the ambush hits, out of nowhere like thunder cracking the sky, gunfire ripping through the air, alarms blaring, the whole base turning into a mad scramble, dust kicking up as guys dive for cover, shouting orders over the chaos. Private Luke Harris, this big kid from Texas, over 220 pounds easy, takes a gut shot right at the foot of those stone steps, blood pooling fast, his face going pale, and Sarah's there in seconds, dropping her med kit, ripping open his vest, hands steady even as bullets whine past, pressing gauze hard to staunch the flow. Lieutenant Hale, this by-the-book officer with a clipboard glued to his hand and a chip on his shoulder from always playing second fiddle, shouts from behind a barricade, "Reed, fall back, you're not built for this. Get to the aid shack where you belong." His voice laced with that condescending pity, like he was protecting her, but really just reinforcing the divide, his own ego tied to keeping roles clear in the unit. The others chime in, voices cutting through the smoke. Ramirez sneers, "She's gonna get him both killed. Look at her shaking already." And Big Tom, crouched low, mutters loud enough, "Medics patch boo-boos, not play hero, drop him, Sarah, or you'll both eat dirt." Their words fueled by panic, that deep-seated fear that if she succeeded, it'd shatter their worldview, expose their own limits. But Sarah, man, something flips in her then, that inner storm brewing from all the build-up, the doubts she'd swallowed like bitter pills. Thinking of her brother's last letter home about never leaving a man behind, she loops Luke's arm over her shoulder, hefts his dead weight, her small frame bending but not breaking, and starts up those jagged steps, each one a monster in the heat, her boots scraping rock, blood soaking her uniform warm and sticky. The climb's brutal, step 50 and her legs are fire, sweat blinding her, but she whispers to Luke as he groans, "Hang in there, buddy, got you. "We're not quitting today." Her voice fierce, drawing from that well of resolve she'd built quietly, ignoring the jeers rising like echoes from below. Ramirez yells up, "Give it up!" Ridieri halfway to dropping him, mired in his own jealousy from a botched rescue op last tour that haunted him, and Big Tom, watching through binocs, laughs cold. No shot she hits 125 too fragile, always was, but as she hits 150, slipping once, scraping her knees raw, the taunts quiet some, replaced by uneasy murmurs, cause now it's real. Her grit peeling back their layers, forcing them to see her not as the nurse, but as the warrior they'd denied. By 200, her body screaming, vision blurring, but she pushes on flashes of her dad teaching her to climb rocks back in Montana, saying strength ain't size, it's heart. And at 250, she collapses at the bunker door, Luke still clutched tight, medics rushing out to pull him in, her world fading to black as exhaustion claims her. Whispers spread that night, doubt lingering like smokesome grunt. Reckless stunt, could have cost 2 lives, from guys like Hale, clinging to protocol to justify their inaction, but Luke pulls through, her quick work saving him, and by dawn, as Sarah stirs in the aid tent, aching but alive, the CO calls assembly. She steps out, med bag slung habitual, and there's 600 Marines in formation, snapping to salute, the colonel booming. "Reed, you saved one of ours, damn fine work." The thunder of "Sir, yes sir," shaking the ground, tears in her eyes but chin high. That moment electric, like a movie scene where the underdog flips the script, the mockers in the ranks Ramirez pale, Big Tom fists clench swallowing their pride hard. In the weeks after, things shift quiet, but sure Ramirez gets shipped stateside for attitude issues, his ego finally catching up in a review that highlighted his bullying. Big Tom loses a big endorsement gig he'd bragged about. Whispers of karma from that viral post a buddy leaked about the climb, calling out the taunts in Sarah? She just keeps on, no gloating, but stronger. Her husband Captain Mike Reed showing up one day, this respected intel guy whose quiet support she'd never flaunted, walking out with her as jaws drop. Adding that layer of you never knew the full story. The base changes, respect earned step by bloody step. But here's the thing that sticks with Mew: is her risk worth it? Pushing past limits when protocol screams stop? Or does heroism like that blur into recklessness? Especially in a world where women still fight twice as hard for half the credit? Makes you think about those hidden battles in every unit, every community. Really, jealousy, power plays, the cost of proving yourself. If this hits home, if you've faced doubters or seen injustice like that play out, drop a like, hit subscribe for more real stories from the front lines, and tell me in the comments, was Sarah a hero or just lucky? How do you handle the mockers in your life? Fight back or let actions speak? Share your take. Let's unpack this together.